We'll see if they pin their hopes and dreams on hydration. The gates are open, and the first battle here on the night market is underway. Both teams taking the fight to the courtyard as Defran once more coming in around the flank, being a real threat here with hydration. Hydration in tough shape, getting healed at the last moment by Shake. Shake is there to support and turns the tables on Defran quite heavily as the main fight intensifies on the point.
Well, one of the reasons hydration went off against Liquid is because Shake just had him in his pocket. He was always getting the heals that he needed in the clutch moments. Iman gets a hook there to open it up. Miso already out of this fight on his Zarya, so an advantage, however slight, is going to go towards Selfless. Iman gets another one, and they are cleaning up the point. Should be first cap.
It was back and forth for a while, but in the end, the mechanical play of Selfless able to drive that in over the top, and I know it's practically becoming a meme at this point, but look at Sinatra's Graviton charge. 100% Zarya energy, 80% charge.
Well, he got the boost there very late in that fight, a boost that they may not have needed, but they do transfer it over to Sinatra's ultimate bank instead.
Well, the Graviton is up, the Graviton is in, it pulls in 4, and Death and Destruction follows as the Pulse Bomb connects from Defran. It is a big bang combination. It is a devastation to CLG, as Selfless maintains control, and Sinatra apparently doesn't have a W key on his keyboard.
Doc just chased down hydration as a Lucio over the top just to add insult to injury there. And the one key factor to these Graviton Pulse Bombs is the anti-heal coming down too. It's been so nice. Michael 3D is just hitting every nade in the last 3 sets or so.
We do need a pause, and also a slight correction. It's an S key he doesn't have. W is actually what he had jammed forward. Also, Defran blue screened.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about this pause. I saw it a second too late because like it's happening right in the middle of a fight. I probably would like this one back, but oh well.
Not a banner day for Microsoft, I would probably say. At least Defran's, whatever he's running there.
I mean, generally,
rumor has it he's running Windows XP.
Probably. He's gonna cry.
He's gonna have to pay a ransom is what's gonna happen.
Watching hydration in the pause screen, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I didn't love the pause, because generally I don't want to pause in big fights, but I was a second too late on it. My reactions are not up to the par of these players, which is why I'm not playing.
I see you, Dak. I think Dak's going first.
iShiny already prepping for his future career as a caster.
They might go crazy, though. They might, like, try to salvage this and nano boost Sinatra after a sound barrier. Or they might set up for a crazy shatter with Kresnik to counter the Nano Blade. This is like a game of... It's a guessing game right now.
Yeah, I mean, part of the strategy that Selfless keeps doing is boosting Sinatra. Like, that's a big part of it. Even though sometimes they've won fight, they'll just do it so that he can get his Graviton closer and closer, because I think there's still statistics that show it's the most game-changing ult still in the whole game. So boosting Zarya, especially when Sinatra can get really high charge, is pretty sound game plan, I think, so far.
Yeah, I think more teams should start doing it, especially when they're running Zarya. It's just free team fights.
The scary thing for me here, by the way, is that, well, actually, first of all, how do they know that Defran blue screened? Like, how is Defran talking to them after blue screen? Are they together?
Yeah,
okay, that would make more sense.
He's back in America. He's back in America.
So I didn't realize he was back in America. That makes a little bit more sense. I'm just sitting here and going, wait a second. So,
Detective
I mean, the only thing that's...
Creating murder mysteries.
The thing that worries me a little bit here, though, is that if a PC is blue screen, it doesn't always recover well. I hope that if they are in a team house, they do have a spare, and as I say that, Defran is back in. So all my concern is for nothing.
Well, I mean, regardless, he's not going to be in on this fight, I don't think. We'll see how it ends up working out. All right, I think teams are ready. Let me just double check.
All right, hydration.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Well, we get to see hydration coming in from the heavens. The Dragon Blade is out. And Sound Barrier going to make this a little bit rough for him. Nothing connecting off of that Dragon Blade. And Kresnik drops the hammer, drops 2. And though it's not the most explosive Earth Shatters, you still see Defran with plenty of room to work with in the back.
Yeah, I think that Sound Barrier was already happening during the pause, though, so it's not the sneak peek didn't give them too much of an advantage there. They are putting a little bit of pressure onto the points, but this will be the take back as we near 65%.
You know, that's a lot of justification for the pause, Hex. I just want you to know that you are a true villain and you ruin the competitive integrity of this game. So there you go. The Graviton in from Sinatra once more. Pulls in 3. You have Lucio DPS coming in for the backline on top of Defran. Either way, it is enough. Selfless, cleaning up that fight rather nicely.
Yeah, very good for them, and it's going to be the last bit of attempt here for Counter Logic Gaming. They will have an ultimate. Miso's been a little bit hit or miss, but he's going to have to hit this one if they have any chance of winning this next fight.
Pulse Bomb coming up, and Defran now with the Nano Boost. Don't see this too often on Tracer, but the way Defran's playing, why not put it on him? And still, he's going to have to bring it back. 3 kills here from CLG, and it's not the worst fight. They're able to retake it, but they certainly don't have this clean as Defran's still a threat on the outside. Sinatra charged up, and pressure now coming in once more from Selfless on the CLG, but Sinatra bites a big one there. Might necessitate a bit of a fallback.
Miso with a little bit of redemption. It was a very nice Graviton. He was able to clean up Sinatra, who got hooked in, so it was mostly the work of the Roadhog there, excuse me, and they're able to win the fight that they absolutely had to win. So going forward, a lot of this may be on Hydration next, and he's going to have the blade. Him and Shake have dueled up to get some pretty nice nano blades today.
Resnack holding on to the Earth Shatter, waiting for the opportunity to drop it as Hydration in the back, picks up 2, looking for more, and doesn't get charged by Kresnik. That was on a razor's edge, but the blade struck before the shoulder blade.
He did a lot of that being anti-healed too, because he got hit with the nade from Michael 3D late in that fight, and now it's, you know, it was going to be 4 fights they had to win, now it's down to 2. However, the bank for Selfless is reaching capacity here, and they're going to have every single tank ult, big bang combo ready to go.
Here comes Selfless once more, aided by the sound barrier, and it's a beautiful Graviton to Fran there for the follow-through. Goodbye, farewell, Selfless taking this first round with authority.
I mean, if Hex hadn't ruined the competitive integrity of that game, it might have been a CO2 victory, actually.
Guys, I don't think I'm going to get invited back for the next OMM now.
No, absolutely not. Actually, no one is. Bible thump.
They brought it back. We saw signs of life. The nano blades on Hydration were pretty good. I think Miso had a pretty few good Gravitons. Michael 3D's Anonades have been pretty on point, I would say, throughout the entire match, and they're turning fights a lot more than I would have anticipated.
Also, as a quick reminder here, if your sound is messed up on the stream, please just refresh. That will fix it. We have been dealing with some internet issues here today, so when that gets desynced, a refresh will fix it after a period of time.
Hey, I had to play Defran with Defran's Pharah earlier in ranked. I don't think this is a good idea.
Hard-hitting analysis, straight from the
wrong.
heart. Well, Defran still going to be running Pharah anyways, looking for Shake, lands 1 rocket, and takes down Shake with the second. Hydration gets the instant avenging, but no longer can anyone heal him. He has to rely on a health pack, and yet still finds it and comes back into the fight.
Ground war going pretty good for Selfless, but Hydration immediately evens things up with a couple of nice rockets. Kresnik out of suit, as well as Hydration still on the hunt. Doc's going to come back in here, try to get something going, and still yet to capture the point as some stall out coming, but the point will be captured late by CLG, thanks to a lot of nice damage from Hydration.
Hydration had 2 HP there, got the health pack, slowly floated over like the Goodyear blimp, and knocks 2 people into the pit. That does go to show that tiny differences in damage can really lead up to big effects here in Overwatch. That said, Hydration under assault here from Defran. Fair Mercy versus Fair Mercy. Hydration going in from down under, and for now, still staying alive. Defran struggling, and Defran takes one in the tailpipe. CLG holding strong here so far.
Yeah, nice work on the bridge there. They got a couple environmental kills.
I normally don't refer to the analysis in-game, but because of what Slasher said to begin with, is this going about as you thought, Slasher, so far?
I mean, as the Mercy, yes. I knew that would not work out too well. I'm glad he's on Tracer now.
Yeah,
well, there you go.
He kind of left Michael 3D hanging, though. Michael 3D is still stuck on this Mercy without a Pharah.
Well, Slasher spit too much hot fire. He has been ejected from the game as Hydration coming back in, drops the barrage, eliminates Michael 3D, and gets eliminated in turn. The life of a Pharah indeed. 5 versus 5 here on the point. And Selfless doing better after this change to Fran. Much more at home on the Tracer. Not a one fight yet by any means, but competitive. That said, Hydration and iShiny coming back in. The Resurrection makes that a much better fight for the side of CLG.
Well, the kill on Michael early was what really opened it up to allow them to get their own Resurrection. Michael actually stays on this Mercy just because he was at 95%. Will res his own team back up, but still, kill feed all in favor of Counter Logic Gaming as we go forward. 2 already down, 6v4 now. Gonna be a tall task ahead of Selfless to bring this one back.
Self-destruct comes in from Miso. And you take a look here at Selfless. They're at 99% to 0. They're struggling to do anything to bring this back. You have Defran back on the point. Last-ditch effort here from Selfless, but there's the potential of pulling this right back in. iShiny's going to fall, and suddenly Selfless with the potential here. They don't even have the point, but they have the potential of pulling it back, and they do get the point, and perhaps they will solidify.
Yeah, Waffle's got to be careful. He is so low in there. Shake will eventually fall too, so half of this combo already out of commission. There goes Waffle-tastic, who was so low earlier into Fran. Will end up finishing him with a clip to the dome. And the 3 as the percentage marker goes up and up for Selfless.
Well, that is a little bit of lag coming across. I hope that is not the stream, because you guys are going to be feeling it more than I am as I listen to Hex. Self-destruct over the top, and Shake! Anti-aired by the Diva Self-destruct. Farewell. And Selfless, suddenly, making an argument to bring this one back.
We bring it up every time you see a pharmacy on a control map. Very good when it's neutral. Very good when you're in control. Not half as good when you have to try to take the point back. However, Barrage and Resurrection are up, so the combo is going to be fully loaded.
Well, fully loaded is the name of CLG's game here, but Shiny slept early on. He's out of the fight to begin with. Shake still has the Resurrection in reserve, and he can mitigate some of the damage of this Graviton if any kills even resulted from it, which it did not. CLG in a good position here, trading out evenly, and still they have the Resurrection in reserve. That said, Sinatra doing terrible damage in the middle here, and that res will be coming up, and there it is.
Beautifully timed Resurrection there, and they follow it up with a sound barrier, so now getting a couple of kills, taking the advantage in this fight. Mega Broom is now the site of the slaughter. Kresnik's done a great job mitigating a lot of this Pharah damage, so we'll see if he can continue to do it. The stall out's going to come in form of a Primal Rage from Iman.
Stall out is in progress right here as CLG looking to retake this point away from Selfless. And Selfless, they didn't have any buffer zone here, so even though they've been doing well for the last moment, it's not going to be enough. They're thrown off of the point. Overtime is in progress, and CLG, they withstand here and hold on to the point. But I do wonder if it would have even have gotten to this point if Defran had started out the round on Tracer.
Hydration was kind of bullying him, to be fair, at the end. I thought that the Pharah was... He's putting in a lot of work. I'm going to say that. Like, he's not dying to the Divas, he's not taking too much damage during his barrages, and he's hitting the rockets that I think he needs to hit. I think the biggest blow to them running the Mercy was the fact that they couldn't nano boost Sinatra anymore. Like, the Zarya impact was a lot less than it normally is.
This map's a bit rough for Fire Mercy, so the kind of the Genji's expected, but once they go back to the other one, I think they'll probably see him switch.
Yeah, there is no pharmacy queued up at the moment. I think the only great game I've ever seen on this map, I want to say it was Shore4 and Chips. No, Tailspin and Chips.
Tailspin, yeah.
Yeah, way back in the day. And it was beautiful to watch, but since then, there's generally just mediocre pharmacy combos on this map, which is why you don't see it very often.
It's not a go-to option here. The stage, very similar to University, where teams tend to avoid running it for the most part, but either way, CLG flanking around Selfless, again, utilizing the buddy system here, very much a ball of death, hiding behind the Reinhardt, making it difficult for CLG to figure out how they want to come in on this, but Hydration, so many clumped up people, dashes right through, already close to a Dragon Blade. The problem is that Defran finds Shake in the back, and Selfless, potentially with the ability to pull this back, the Death Ball strategy working out so far.
It's just been Zarya's all over the place, getting all of the damage done. The first capture will go in favor of CLG. Now they're losing a little bit though, and they're all very poked down. The sound barrier should probably spell the end of this, and very likely a flip back for Selfless.
Well, realistically, that shouldn't have even been capped for 12%. Selfless is winning that fight pretty significantly, and they just forgot about the point, even as they had a numerical advantage.
Well, Sinatra not quite at his Graviton yet, which is a little surprising. Miso actually got the better of the opening. Zarya Defran finds himself on the wrong side of a Fire Strike, though I'm not sure there was a right side to that. Already going to go down, Graviton out.
Long-range Graviton moving in, doesn't really get what Miso is looking for. The Dragon Blade in from Hydration as well. Has to sell for just one. And CLG throwing a lot of ultimates into this fight, but there's the Earth Shatter! Absolutely no reaction, no sell from Selfless as they stare down CLG and fight that one right back.
Oh, and they threw everything at that, too. That's what makes it so painful. Everything went in, and you said the long-range Graviton, unable to connect that. They got their own grab, and then they soundered out of it, which looked good, but then Kresnik has no chill, puts them all on the ground, and really easy to stick people who are lying on the ground.
Selfless just didn't flinch against that. They pick their moment, the Earth Shatter seals it, and they are in firm control of this map right now. That said, Emon, a little bit too far out, gets punished. 2 people down for Selfless. Now this puts Defran in the situation where he has to be a hero to delay this and let Selfless get back to the point without a flip.
Well, it's Kresnik and Doc right now trying to hold it down. Kresnik will fall under pressure, as will Doc, as Hydration gets the dash resets. Defran's going to try to come in here. It's a lot hammer, then a scrap gun to the face, but still probably about one fight out here. Sinatra is about to come online with his Graviton. They could even just boost him in and use the grab halfway through the fight. A lot of tank ultimates up for the side of Selfless.
Meanwhile, CLG, we'll see if they can deal with those tank ultimates. It's difficult for Hydration, because if he goes with the Dragon Blade, he could get shattered. Here he goes. He's moving in. Is the shatter going to hit? Yes, it does. Kresnik there with the answer. Stops Hydration. Mid-blade. Doesn't really care about Ana's Nano Boost, and what a reaction from Selfless to turn that fight.
There was a nice counter shatter by Shiny, but everyone was dead. There was no one with them. He shattered into a 1v5, and that's generally not going to work out for you. Now it's going to be difficult for CLG to even get in here, because the whole hog could be a nice response to the what must be a surely incoming Graviton. There it is.
Graviton comes in here from Miso. Is the fall through going to be there? It is. They cleave right through, and one good team wipe deserves another. CLG going to come back onto the fight, but they're still pretty behind in progress here. Going to need to win about 3 fights in a row.
I'll give Miso some credit, but those kills from the Graviton really belong to Shake, who had another really beautiful nade over the top onto him. Made everyone super squishy, able to clean it up in short order, even though the whole hog was there. Whole hog came down preemptively, actually, so not reacting to the Graviton, using it in beforehand, but still only one fight away for Selfless.
Selfless on the verge here, coming back in once more. Even fight back and forth, neither team committing super heavily here. Selfless more spread out than we saw them in the beginning. Emon creeps around the side, looking for a hook. Gonna find Ice Shiny with Defran, and here comes Hydration. Nanoblade in progress, gets hooked, going to ruin some of his progress, but it's still enough here. Even fight so far, and it's Waffle-tastic with the cleanup from the distraction, but Emon finishes him off, still back and forth.
Well, it has been flipped back over. Defran still running wild on here. The numbers now in favor of CLG as they get 4 on the point. It's just stall out, and that stall onto the ground. They are able to get Kresnik and Doc with the shatter. Doc was able to hide behind the wall and stay alive. Shiny still trying to get to him, forces out the sound barrier, and now fights coming, or kills coming quick, rather, for Selfless. Do you believe they should be able to clean it up? They do.
And just as a reminder here, guys, we are dealing with some internet issues out of our control, but if you're having issues, please refresh the stream. That will cure what ails you.
I don't know that Selfless wins that stage 9 times out of 10. There were a lot of really weird decision-making scenarios that led into that. Like that Miso Graviton, the one that only hit the Reinhardt, was pretty, like, I don't want to say game losing, but it was definitely point losing, because they wound up only getting one person. Hydration goes in with the dash on the Dragon Blade, but he doesn't get anything, and the Reinhardt charged out of the grab. So then he wasted his dash, he wasted his blade, then they all get earth shattered. Like, I think that fight should have been theirs for the taking. And at the end there, they earth shattered Dak and then ignored him. And then he wound up living long enough to get a sound barrier off, and then getting like 2 kills just by healing up the Tracer 76. So I think Selfless might have gotten away with one there.
Well, whether they did or not, Selfless on the map point here. All they need is one more round to put Li Jiang in the bank, and the early hook seals Waffle-tastic's doom. He's out of it, and Defran in the back of it right now. No one on him as he just cleaves through parts of the CLG backline. Selfless able to just saunter onto the point with ease and get this first control point capture.
Not much they're able to do about this. Shake even hit a sleep dart. He was trying to get a cleanup there. Mikado, the only one who's able to do anything. I'm getting Sinatra out of a fight is good, so at least now he won't have Graviton up for the very next fight. If they do end up going 6-1 there in favor of their kills. Now Selfless clearly in the driver's seat here. Defran, I wonder where he wants to set up. Probably going to be lurking, looking for a pulse bomb. Generally, Tracers are going to the Mega Pack path, and then waiting to see someone poking in, and then just trying to hit that stick.
So, Selfless in firm position right now. Sinatra, surprisingly, not with a Graviton Surge, but Defran in the backline. Almost gets a pick off with the Pulse Bomb, harassing from the side, diverting attention as really CLG's just looking for the right way in. Perhaps that way in is the Dragon Blade. Hydration, Dragon Blade out, gets one, looks for more, and gets taken down by Emong at the end. Not quite what he was looking for, as Selfless now with the opportunity to counter-engage and seal this fight.
We talked a lot about Sinatra's Gravitons, and there's another one.
And it's another team wipe where, honestly, I feel like Sinatra gets some of these better Gravitons because people are not expecting him to have Graviton. He is getting Graviton so much quicker than the average Zarya that teams have internal timers of, should we expect a Graviton? And for Sinatra, you have to turn that clock up by about 50%.
Right, I was just going to say that let's not overlook the other parts of his games, too. He's hitting some nice allied shields to keep people alive. His tracking has been insane, and those allied shields are giving him so much energy, which all culminates in him having these Gravitons up so often.
Kresnik just slowly walking over, knocks down two. It's like a horror movie, man.
Oh, the counter Shatter did come in there, but a little bit late. Shiny now finds himself on an island, and he will be dispatched easily 90%. So they're going to be able to fight once more, but the positioning is going to be less than ideal.
So, Selfless in a great position right now, 98% 2-0. Now the question is, how is CLG going to respond? The sound barrier comes in, Graviton is in for response, and Defran there at the fall through once more. 2 kills in from Defran. Late Dragon Blade here from Hydration, trying to pull it back, but it is Hail Mary time, and it might be connecting! They end up with 4 kills from it at the last moment, and CLG not out of this here just yet.
And Aaron Rodgers, Hail Mary for sure. I'm sure I just made a lot of Detroit fans very, very sad. But they end up connecting there. They have to be perfect, the rest of this, or this map is going the way of Selfless.
Oh, absolutely, and for Selfless, plenty of room to work with here. Certainly they'll have 2 to 3 attempts with Gravitons the way Sinatra is playing. Emong, all he has to do is land one early hook to seal this. There's so many ways that they can get just one fight to finish out this map. It's tough sailing right now for CLG.
Right, they have to be absolutely perfect, and there's going to be a boost incoming. Would not be surprised to see it go on Sinatra here, or they could wait. Emong's going to have Whole Hog, that's always a decent boost target too, but Sinatra's the one who gets it.
And the early hook sets things up well. 3 unanswered kills here by Selfless, and they take their time, and when they engage, it's decisive. CLG thrown off the point, and that should be the round and map going the way of Selfless, up 1-0 in this best of 3 lower bracket series.
I mean, we talk about Fire Mercy.
Slasher's looking for the rejoin button. I don't know.
I don't know. How is Slasher's setup so unstable here? It's a PC thing for him. It's
I think this
internet.
isn't the comp for CLG. I think that this is how you don't win games. But we'll see.
Well, CLG, they're going to have some faith in Hydration here as he sets up. Moving along the flank, the rest of CLG on the front, but they lose Shake immediately. Just dove on Zenyatta, falling in turn, and already a excellent setup here for Selfless.
It's going to make Waffle and Hydration's job that much harder. They're not going to have any of those healing orbs to try to bounce around, and they're just getting chased down. Defran adds another support to his belts, and wow, Mikado down as well. About as good as an opening as you can ask for.
That was excellent from Selfless, and already we see a swap up coming in from CLG. It's going to be Hydration, getting off the Genji, going to Pharah, and they're going to brave the Pharah on University, despite the part where it's at a somewhat troubled history. Defran almost taking a rocket and does take a rocket in the end. He dodged a bullet once, not twice. And CLG making the fair work here, at least early on. Much better opening after the switch.
Yeah, coming in over the top, there's not really anyone to be able to deal with him momentarily. Slasher's left the game again. All sorts of stuff going on tonight. Just nailing in these rockets on the shield. It makes Kresnik's job that much harder, but here comes the grab and Iman on the cleanup.
Emong slaughtering right through, and we saw him do this against Rogue last month, where even when Selfless might be losing a fight, Emong's ability to bring things back off of bigger plays is phenomenal. Grounds Pharah there. And that's part of the problem with Pharah on this particular round, too, is that usually Pharah doesn't have to worry about Roadhog that much, but here, it's a big threat.
Yeah, and they're getting all the remaining kills that they need. However, it's been stalled out just a little bit. Finally flipped back over in the favor of Selfless, and Bank is looking pretty solid for them. Hydration will have Barrage. It's always very difficult to land a Barrage. In this case especially, Miso's going to have to keep him inside the Matrix, but that's not going to stop any hooks. No bubble for him either, so Hydration's angle on this is going to be very interesting to watch.
Well, the fight is underway here, and Selfless just going back again, grouping up together in tight quarters, almost LG Evil-esque. Here comes a barrage in from Hydration. Emong, though, regulating indoors, is finally taken down. The healing not quite enough to keep him alive. Hydration keeping control of the air, and it's working out. He picks up 2 kills. The barrage zoned out Selfless, and CLG on the verge of retaking this point once more.
And if they do lose any, Shake will be there for the resurrection, but absolutely unneeded, which is very nice for them for the next fight. They will have that support ultimate in their bank. Still, they have to be perfect throughout the remainder of this map. Just about 72% is right on the verge there, and they've so far been unable to dodge Sinatra's Gravitons. Miso's positioning going to be a pivotal yet again. Wow, that word.
Pivotal is certainly a word that has been your nemesis over time. But speaking of nemesis here, Hydration still unchecked over the top, making the fair work here on University. Waffle winning the ground more as Hydration provides support from above. And this is looking pretty good for CLG here in bringing this back. They're about to even up the round, but they're still one fight away from potentially losing. Oh no, they gave him control there even as they were winning the fight.
Shouldn't be that big of a deal, but Kresnik is just hiding in the corner trying to get all the percentage he can. He's just trying to paddle block away those rockets. And they will finally flip it back over. Shake has died pretty early on in the last couple fights, but that means they've been able to bank a lot of these ultimates for the side of Counter Logic.
And for CLG, one fight remaining here between both teams. Hydration has the barrage at the ready. Resurrection is on deck. This is going to be very difficult for Selfless to bring back. They need a flawless engage with an early pickoff, but it's not looking like that's the case as Hydration dives right in. Gonna get mostly mitigated here by the defensive Matrix and taken down, but it still takes up a lot of attention from the Selfless side. And look, Shake still in and around, will use the one-man res, bring Hydration back into the fight. I will say, Selfless has handled this. Oh no.
CLG into making them do what they want.
CLG right now applying pressure from above, and if you want a map with plenty of room for a Pharah, this would certainly be the map. The city center, plenty of room for Hydration to get his work done, and it's creating plenty of distraction for Waffle on the ground as well. So far, Selfless not doing a great job at really dealing with this.
They're in the right position. This is where you want to try to start fighting it, but it's really smart from CLG to not be going in there. The onus is on Selfless to deal with this. Hydration is going to rain justice on Sinatra, and already 10% here. They're getting a little bit of pressure from Emong up onto Shake. Defran able to finish that by shooting into Shake from the ground, and so at least Shake is out of the equation. He will have Resurrection up for next fight, and everyone now getting very low on the side of CLG.
CLG starting to get pushed off, but the thing is that this is also a map where it's very easy to stall out even as you start losing the fight. So say Hydration falls here, which does not look like it is. Well, Defran over the top, of course, anti-air tracer, but even still, if Selfless is able to bring this back, they have to fully evict and reaccommodate them off the point. Easier said than done, and Miso just barely gets back into the Diva mech there. And while this is going on, progress continues to build here for CLG.
A great rest from Shake. And you make a great point that this map is so hard to take back. It reminds me a little bit of Ilios, but even worse to some degree. Ilios, of course, was a newer addition to the assault pool, and it became much more brawly. Oasis is that on steroids. These maps are all-out brawls. Very rarely do you see a reset 6v6 like we see right now.
Certainly not, and this is a much better look here for CLG. Oasis proving to be a decent pocket pick for them here, and I do think a lot of it comes down to the idea that Selfless isn't really handling this Pharah as well as they'd like, and Defran loses the Waffle-tastic on the side, so many parts to CLG here are working better than what we saw just a map ago. That said, here comes the sound barrier from Selfless. They're going to roll right in, but the counter self-destruct coming in does not connect.
It's a great self-destruct, though. It bought them so much room, so much time to reset up on the ground and get their pharmacy back in position. Now, they have to be a little bit careful. They're going a little bit too far in for my taste, but they've already gotten the kills that they can just go clean up. You want to stay at the bottom of the stairs, force Selfless to push into you. You already own the point.
CLG on the verge of taking this right now. Overtime is in progress, and now it is Selfless looking for a miracle to pull this back. And it would have to be a pretty high-tier miracle. Pulse Bomb thrown into the abyss. Miso om-nom-nomming it away. Hydration drops the barrage, gets killed as a result. So still some pressure coming in here from Selfless, but it's a long road in front of them, Hex.
Well, they won't get the self-destruct onto the point, should buy a little bit of space. Shake with the clutch res brings everyone back, and now CLG finds himself between the resurrected squad. The zombies back to life, biting the backs of Selfless.
They would even up the series 1-1 and strike back here at Selfless, who... Selfless coming up this tight corridor here, really giving Hydration high-value rockets inside. But Mikado picked off. Now, more room open for Selfless to try and take this point and make it theirs.
Sinatra is playing right inside the defense matrix is what he's going to have to do, and now they are able to take down the opposing D.Va, so they should have a lot of room to work. Miso out of mech. Hydration still trying to land these rockets on the stairs, but Kresnik has been with Sinatra in his pocket that whole time. Sinatra, as soon as he sees Kresnik boost away from him, a little bit of miscommunication, has to run away. The moment that Sinatra shows his face, they're trying to pop him, but Sinatra now able to take down Shake, and he's going to have to 1v1 Hydration. He does.
Sinatra was getting booped and bopped around, but nothing was even remotely sticking on him. Soldier doing his best impression of Muhammad Ali in the corner, as far as that fight goes for Selfless. So, Selfless able to take that. They deal with the Pharah, and a lot of it did come down to just killing everyone but Hydration. He was one of the last people to fall there, had plenty of room, but wasn't able to deal damage that was good enough, aside from the very beginning of the fight.
Well, the next round is incoming now, and Shake will be able to resurrect this if they need to have it. But Sinatra gets that visor out early. Mikado down, Shake down, murder from the visors. Sinatra cleaning house.
The one downside about the Pharah taking the oceanside flank here on Gardens is that you don't have cover when a tac visor comes out. If you're over the ocean, it's beautiful, but pulse rifle munitions will give you an up-close and personal view of that ocean if you're not careful, so not the best approach there coming in from Hydration. 45% for Selfless here so far.
They've just been winning the round war, and they've given Sinatra the space he needs to operate. The sound barrier will come in, and here comes the barrage. Sinatra will punish Hydration for it. Only one kill on that barrage. Now Sinatra down. Shake waiting for his moment. Looks like he wants to come in now. But now when dying, they need to be dying, and if not, like, it gets so close, and Mikado will go down late there. Small advantage still for the side of CLG.
CLG, for now, trying to get back on the point, but Selfless maintains control all the while, and again, this is the problem with both Gardens and City Center to some extent here in Oasis, is that once you lose control of the point, actually removing all the people from the other team on the point, easier said than done. They go for the resurrection here to make it better, but you still have members of Selfless streaming on, and there's no clear cleanup for them.
No, not at all. Sound barrier will come in late and keep everyone nice and healthy, but they've yet to even flip over the point. That's how badly these fights have gone. Not able to win one-sided. There's been some trades, but it's just never been enough. Miko's the only one on the point. That could be a good start for them to trade this point back. A double pulse bomb kill from Waffle.
Waffle piling on there towards the end, and CLG now left without a whole lot of options. Going to need to win this fight and bring it forward. But again, you still have Selfless coming back in and stalling it out. This has been an incredibly long 3 minutes for CLG, where they've been in the driver's seat this entire time, but unable to get the point, and finally, mercifully, they capture. The problem is they have to hold now for the rest of the map.
Easier said than done for certain, but we do always bring up the trope that it's much easier to hold than it is to take, and so now that Hydration and Shake are in the position that they want to be, it's going to be very difficult to find an angle of attack. I think the initiator here has to be Kresnik. He might even come in through the hallway to clear out that D.Va combination. They're just going straight up to the perch with both dive tanks. Mikado has died very early in a lot of these fights, and he's going to die again.
Selfless looking to punch this one back in, but as what happened to CLG can now happen to Selfless, where Selfless needs to cleanly win this to retake. Less time get away from. That said, Iman coming in, cleaning house in close quarters. Hydration left without a hope or prayer. Takes a swim at the very end.
Overtime begins to tick down, and there is the sound barrier to try to close this out for the side of Selfless. A couple kills. DeFran has just been abusing Mikado this entire round on the ground. After the switch from 76, his Tracer play has really been a boon to this team, and desperation time for CLG. They need stall. They need to start getting kills.
Selfless in the driver's seat at the moment. They just need a little bit more to secure this out. You still see Stall coming in. It's both supports of all things, healing each other and buying time, but Shake can only fly so far. Waffletastic late back into the fight, and again, CLG just swarming in, trying to pull this one back, but does not look like it's going to happen as Selfless not going down here just yet.
Which, if you can get a Soldier 76 up there, sometimes they can do something with the Pharaoh, but this is the same tactic that they ran the first time around for Selfless. It did not work out for them. They're going to double tank, go up top, and Iman gets the damage to finish off Shake. Now, the combo now out of the mix.
It's a much better opening here for Selfless. A much better pressure on Hydration between DeFran and Sinatra, where he had to worry about the Soldier from the front, then the Tracer comes in from the back, and that is that. They recap the point here, and Selfless in a much better position here, and this change-up could very well be the ticket to cure what ails them.
Just really nice double dive onto the combination, and when the D.Va's flying up there and the Winston's flying up there, they're trying to hit rockets perhaps on both of those two, and it really gives the protection that they need from the ground to start chipping in the damage. It takes a village to kill a combo, and that's exactly what they use there.
And now we see for Selfless still in commanding position here. It's kind of a rough engage here from CLG. Hydration's mobility heavily limited by the pressure that's being put in here by Selfless, and we see Hydration just struggling to even get the Sonic kill towards the back. Might end up getting it. Michael 3D is down, but DeFran is right there with the immediate vengeance and justice.
It has been all Selfless on this point now. They've made the adjustments that they need to make, and it's going to not get any easier for the side of CLG as Sinatra is nearing his tactical visor, and as soon as he sees Shake and Hydration away from the rest of the team, away from Shields and Divas, he's going to pop it and try to pluck the combo out of the sky. So positioning is going to be very important as the pharmacy moves in.
Well, CLG certainly looking for anything to bring this back to Fran, though, just grabbing Hydration from the top. And this has just been a much different change in perspective here from Selfless, where they're making sure Hydration doesn't get the room he was looking for, and honestly just play a higher level as DeFran stops Waffletastic from playing in traffic.
Yeah, Sinatra popped the visor, as I thought, and just took down Shake there before anything happened. The big window is now opening up for Counter Logic Gaming. They're going to have everything that they want. Shake is going to have the resurrection. If they can't win this fight, what fight can they win?
Well, we'll just have to see. 90% to 0. Last chance opportunity. And you're right, they do have ulti. Oh no, Mikado goes down immediately. Now Shake has a real dilemma on his hands. Does he res Mikado here? There's a time reset.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, now he can res too. If they're both in range, don't that they are. Shake is still going to have to settle for a one-man res here potentially, and this sort of staggering makes it difficult to get what you want as a mercy for resurrection.
I think they're still banking on getting a good barrage, and the barrage does come down, but finds two late targets. Almost got nothing there, but Shake dies before he can res, so now still going to be a brawl, but they will sound barriers. Mikado has joined the fray.
CLG fighting for their lives here. They do have it almost flipped here from this initiation, but Sinatra in with the tack visor. Gonna be 3 kills for Selfless here, and Selfless on the verge of evening up this Oasis game, and that would be massive for them here.
Can they get a res in? Where is Shake? How far away is he? Too far away, and DeFran's in his face anyway.
Selfless coming back in, and again, we do see the change of strategy where the soldier play from Sinatra is putting Hydration under way more pressure than what we saw the last time we were here on Gardens, and we'll see if CLG can deal with this. Emon, though, will fall from that early pressure, and this should open things up a little bit more for CLG as they work their way onto the point.
Well, Shiny's able to take down the Fran, so now the ground fight definitely in favor of CLG, which also should open things up for the Sky. Both big hit scan threats eliminated. Hydration now has free reign. The skies are clear. Yeah, they are going to clean the point up rather easily, and Shake's done enough healing already that he'll have Resurrection for the next fight.
Enemies coming right for us. Thanks for the assist.
CLG maintaining control of the point, and Selfless. The problem is that Sinatra is not quite getting the sight lines that you would get on some of the other stages where Hydration has plenty of room in the air, but also plenty of room to get out of this. So Selfless isn't really getting the engagement quality that they did back in Gardens. Now, this is the 5th and final round. They're going to have to find a way in sooner rather than later as progress is ticking away from them. Sinatra moving in on the side, has the stairway available, and no, just gotta raw pop the tac visor, and that is how you can remove a Pharah from the equation.
Technical visor very good. It's one of the times you can justify a solo ult. If it takes out the Pharah, they will resurrect here, actually bringing it back, and the sound barrier does come in too, so they're trying to get it, but Sinatra still finding Hydration after that. Combo now fully out of the picture.
Selfless on the verge of retaking here, perhaps. They still have a way to go because of a stall that can happen, and we saw how long they got stalled out the last time here on Gardens, so easier said than done perhaps at finishing it out, but Sinatra gunning down the remainder. Baby Diva here from Miso just desperately trying to stay alive. And oh, Hydration coming in, and suddenly again CLG with a weapon here to delay and potentially pull this back. So this is the dilemma that Selfless has been in here.
It's been very difficult for them so far, and Selfless really needs to start getting something going, as the stall out has been great for this CLG team, and so they're continuing to get kills is Selfless, but not enough to evict them from the point, and we're nearing 90%. Shake's gonna come in, doesn't have Resurrection just yet, but can build very, very quickly. Hydration has fallen yet again to a tactical visor.
Sinatra just piling on here towards the end, but even if Selfless is finally able to break through and get this here, they're going to have to hold for the rest of the round. Easier said than done. CLG on map point here. One mere fight will even up the series 1-1.
Yep, that is so important for CLG to win this, as it was their map pick. They already had a map pick taken away, and they're in great position to do it. You just have to wait, maybe get some sacrifices in here, maybe let Waffle get into the back line here. He's going to jump in with Shiny. The pulse bomb goes off, but it's from DeFran onto Shiny. Waffle down. It is time to resurrect this. You have to, once Miso dies, yeah, huge reds from Shake.
That phrase is used often, but this time it is true. It is a gigantic resurrection. The question is if the follow-through is going to be there. And so far, Selfless is handling it like champions. They go back, they get the 2 kills right after, and Hydration just pummeled right out of the air.
This hit scan is just giving them all sorts of fits. Nearing 50% now. It's going to be 2 fights away for Selfless taking a 2-0 lead in this series.
Okay, so Selfless now 60% to 99. 2 fights away from winning this map and being up 2-0 in this best of 5. So Selfless climbing the mountain right now. CLG running out of mulligans as they approach here once more.
Well, the sound barrier will come in preemptively for the team as they try to get on the point, but DeFran hits a huge stick onto Shake as he is now out of the fight. The DPS hit scan for Selfless come alive, but now a couple of trades. They're both out of the fight now.
They're out of the fight now. Waffle-tastic diving right in, and CLG making a valiant last attempt here as time ticks down. Will it be enough? Hydration still in the air. Finds Dak, looking for more. Kresnik coming in on him. Both dive tanks try to deal with Hydration, and he gives them a weather report. Barrage in and on the way. And CLG, though, they still have to deal with DeFran. We are in overtime. They have not evicted Selfless here just yet.
Kresnik just a little bit too late to completely nullify that barrage, and now the combo is still raining down. Shake gets a little bit stuck on the wall there, but Hydration able to clean up the threats around them. And CLG will take their second map pick. It is 1-1. We are now in a